I'm going to try another method of removing rust, that being the needle scaler. We shall see what happens. Turn the air on. Okay, this is my differential. This is the before side. As you can see, it's pretty rusty. Okay, I'm going to walk you over to the side that I've done already. It is doing a pretty good job. It requires 90 psi, 4 cubic feet per minute. So you have to have a compressor that will support that. But this is the big one. I got it from Harbor Freight. They also have a smaller one, which I feel might do a slightly better job of getting into the nooks and crannies. So I am going to invest in one of those and see if I can clean it up a little bit better before I treat it with some rust preventer. Okay. That is the differential. It is an hour and a half from the time I opened up the shop. I had to read the instructions on the needle scaler, put it together, get everything set up. So at most, that's an hour and 15 minutes of work on the differential. Like I said before, they do make a smaller one that I think I am going to get, see if I can get into some of those pits a little bit better. But certainly this meets the cleanup requirements for treating it with something like Por 15 or one of the other rust bullets, what have you, that are supposed to take care of rust and prevent it from recurring. All in all, I'm really pleased with that. The amount of effort was minimal. You don't really, if you can use the tool vertically, the pins kind of bouncing off of it support the weight of the tool, so all you have to do is guide it. Of course, your arms are in a strange position at that point. If you're working horizontally, you just kind of hold it. It's not really that heavy. So I am going to see next how it does on a painted surface like the lower control arm. Okay, we're looking at the differential. I've already taken the cover off. was held on with 8 5/8 bolts that take a 5/8 socket to remove them. What we're going to do now, I've already checked the clearances on these axle shafts, and from what I've been able to read, stock has about 0.030 play. These are 0.032. To me, that's very good for the miles that I'm going to be able to put on it in a year. It's going to last a long time, so I'm just going to pull out the yokes, axle yokes. Can replace the seals, paint it up, put them back in. Going to try to zoom in on the ring that holds the shaft in. Not able to focus that close. At any rate, I'm going to take my trusty tool to take that snap ring off. It's got to be the kind that spreads it open when you squeeze to make it easy. I'm probably going to block the view here, but it's the only way I can get in there. Okay, I'm going to shut this off. It's going to take me a little while to play around and get in there. Okay, wasn't too hard to get off. The problem was I was trying to use these angle tips right there, and I couldn't get the snap ring pliers in with that angle. I only had the black tips with a 90-degree bend on them. Those are the ones you need. However, the best fit is the gold, which didn't come in the kit. They are 0.070 tips on them for the gold. The silver are 0.047 and the black is 0.038. The black did work. Just got it in there like so and spread it, but there was too much play. Made it a little bit difficult. I'm going to go get the golds to put it back together. It'll make it much easier because it won't slip off like that. At any rate, that snap ring fits inside this groove that's right here on the shaft, and that's what holds it in. Looking at the shaft, looks okay, I guess, given that the clearance was within spec. So once you take that ring off, unless the shaft is mushroomed, the shaft will just slide right out, and it will slide right back in. There's no need to orient these in any particular way, because whenever you, if you think about it, the differential's purpose is to allow each half of the axle to turn at different speeds when you go through a turn. So as, say, you make a left-hand turn, your left wheel travels less distance, your right wheel travels a further distance, and what's going to happen is the orientation of these things is going to change through the use of the differential. So no need to worry about how they go back in, but they slip right out once that ring is off. Getting the seal out of the differential case isn't very difficult at all. Being careful just to get it behind the seal and not into the bearing. Just put my brake spoon there. Taps with the hammer and out she comes. The new one, I'll probably put some RTV around it and just drive it in with the socket. Next thing to come off is the drive shaft yoke. It's a 1 1/8 socket. And then I'm going to need a puller to pull the yoke off. Okay, that actually came out so easy that as I was putting the puller on it to get the wrench on it, it started to come off, so I never even put a wrench on it. So there's the yoke. This seal is constructed different than the others. The others are just a round seal. This has a flange on it. Side do not have a flange. Okay, so there is a space on the one that's on here that I'm pretty sure I can get a screwdriver behind and slowly work my way around and pry that off. And that's what I intend to do. Okay, I'm trying to get this thing ready to paint the differential case. And what's happening is, even though I let this drain for a whole day, it's draining oil down. What I've decided to do is to put in the seal. I'm putting a very thin coating of black sealant around the edge of the seal so we don't have any leaks on the edge. And use a socket to drive it in. Place it in there like so. Take my socket on it at the outer edge. Dead blow hammer. Tap it into place. In. Well, all the seals are in the differential. There's the yoke seal for where the drive shaft connects. And both of the yoke seals for the drive axles are in. Hopefully that will retain what few drops of oil are still in there so that I can get the grease off of the housing to paint it. Okay, I'm ready to put the cover back on the differential. I put a light coating of Permatex black all around there. On the cover I've already put a coating on the other side of the gasket and slap the gasket on it. And so now just going to be a matter of picking that up, putting it on, and threading it into the holes. Easier said than done because it is pretty heavy. Get a couple of these started, and then I'll just tighten them all up with a wrench. That should keep it from leaking for a long, long time. The gasket was a little bit bigger than the one that was in there. It has those little ears on it. Probably fits multiple differentials. So they're all started. I'll get my 5/8 wrench and gently tighten them. Okay, I've got the differential up on the jack. Trying to align it to the holes up in that mount there. So what I'm going to have to do is climb up on there and shift that a little bit, get it to where I can get those bolts started, and then I'll work on the bracket that goes to the snubber. There we have the differential all installed. Wasn't all that hard with the proper equipment, with that jack to hold it up. Wouldn't want to do it without a jack to support it.